Well, hello there. This is Professor Reverend Deacon Dr. Wilkerson back with day 9 of my 30-day challenge. Obviously, I've had not one shot of espresso, but 2, all courtesy of the stock market. I didn't pay for it. The stock market paid for those drinks. But today, anyway, I have 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. Today, you're going to learn not only about my demons and personal struggles, but also how I lost all of my money trading options. Because yes, you saw me double my account. For those who followed me, you saw me double my model account last year. But yeah, I had a lot of failures to get to that point. And it's all about the invisible scripts, or mine is not invisible anymore per se because I'm aware of it, but you may have an invisible script that's causing you to spend money a certain way, to act a certain way, to make decisions a certain way with your money. And so you'll learn about some of my scripts today. So what's coming up in no particular order is I'm going to talk about some of these insidious lies that trading gurus tell you, and I have them over here on my note sheet. One is, you ever heard of 80% of all options expire worthless? Fat out, bold lie. Then paired up with that lie is usually 80% of options expire worthless, so you should sell options because selling options is better than buying options. Lie. Next up, buying options is a loser's game. Lie. And if that was true, then I've been a profitable loser for 20 plus years. Somebody caught that. The next one is not technically a lie, but it's misleading. And that is, well, I have a 90% win rate when I sell options. Again, it's not a lie, it's technically true, but it's misleading. And followed up with that is, hey, I earn 10% on my money each month selling options. That's also technically true, but it's misleading. And I can't wait to share that information with you. And I'm sure I'm going to have some enemies, right? No one likes me kind of screwing up their marketing machine and they're suckering you into their programs. But I just made a decision to be an honest, ethical business person. Just tell people up the front. It's my marketing anyway. They have attraction marketing. I have repel marketing, right? I try to repel away the people I don't want, like the people who want click button easy, or I want to take $2 grand and $1 million. No, stay away from me. Far, far away. Anyway, a couple other ones I'm going to talk about are why all, not some, but all option trade alert services are scams. I'm going to teach you how to trade around earnings, and then I'm going to probably update my 5-year retirement plan training. Okay, now let me move on here because I only have a few minutes now to tell you how I blew out my account. Well, I did follow, in my defense, and really quick, I lost, when I say I blew out my account, I lost all my money. It wasn't all of my money, my entire net worth, but it was definitely all the money in this account, which was about 30 grand. And my wife makes it a point to always bring that up when I get after her about her financial mishaps. She's like, well, you lost 30 grand. I'm like, well, I made it back and some, right? I'm like, when you lose money, it's just gone, right? Anyway, not a justification, but one good thing that came from that is now my play box, my sandbox, is limited to $2,000 a year. So that's the one good thing that came from this rule is that, okay, now, Travis, when you're testing out new strategies, you only can risk $2 grand, right? That's the amount you only can lose each year. And one other thing before I move on, my wife hates when I think this way, but when you lose money, you're not just losing the actual dollars, you're losing the future growing power of that money. And so this is what I know, that 30 grand I lost, right? Not only did it take me several years to recoup the money, so that's several years of compounding it couldn't earn. If you fast forward 10 years earning just a conservative 15% a year, well, I just pretty much squandered 121 grand of my family's wealth by losing that 30 grand. But I don't earn 15%. Well, I average 15 to 30, but let's say 24%. Again, it's conservative strategy like cover calls. I just squandered 257,000. But I plan on being alive longer than 10 years, God willing, right? All right, so now you look at it, I've just squandered 2.2 million of my family's future wealth just on the 30 grand I lost. So that's how you need to think about it. When you're buying those iPhones, that $500 cell phone bill, you know who you are, the cable bill, because you want to watch sports. Again, I'm not judging people's purchasing. I'm just getting you to need to think. You need to think about your decisions and then calculate how these decisions are costing you money. This is what they call opportunity costs. I only lost 30 grand, but the opportunity cost is 2.2 million. So how I lost the 30 grand was I followed the 3-step process to success I teach members. When you learn a new strategy, here, Harry Brown's fail-safe investing is also called the permanent portfolio. When you learn a new strategy, you shouldn't risk your real money on it. initially. That's just not prudent, and it's not smart. It's not being a good steward of your money. So what you need to do is back test it, or what you should do. I won't say need. Need is too strong of a word, too preachy. So what you should do is back test it on paper, right? Research it, see if it's worked in the past. It has like a 30-year track record. It does work. So I was like, great. So then you forward test it with paper. So I forward tested it practicing virtual account, and it worked brilliantly. Then I had the brilliant idea, hey, let me use this same strategy with options, and I forward tested that on paper. It worked great. Then I forward tested with real money. Keyword there is test. I forgot it was a test. My get rich quick script that I have, right? That's the script I have and I struggle with, is getting rich quick. I treated it as if it was a proven blueprint, and I risked all of my account. And again, I forgot it was a test. That is how I lost all my money. I didn't tweak it and work out all the kinks of it before I then put more money on it. So I put all my money on it. That's the simple summary there, right? This same thing happened. This same script that's running in my head, right? This get rich quick script I have is why I went bankrupt in real estate, and why last year in my model account that people watch me trade, Success Academy members watch me trade this, every single move I made, it more than doubled, 141% increase in their account. But the account that nobody was watching me trade except the people I had to send my real money broker statements to, the U.S. Investing Championship, that account was only 31%. For those who don't know about the U.S. Investing Championship, you can kind of Google it. But if you've read this book, which I'll put a link to it in the description section, most of the guys who won this back in the 80s and 90s were profiled in this book. So I like to think that, hey, if I'm a top contender in this, if this book was still being published, I would be in it. So you can learn that. But again, if it was about strategies, right? People think, one person said vertical credit spreads is why I have consistent success. Guess what? This U.S. Investing Championship account mostly used credit spreads, right? But it was 31%. But my model account was 141. And I used the exact same strategies. It's not about strategies. I had a different psychology. Here, I have a psychology of accountability. I can't do anything stupid because my students are watching me. And if I do something stupid, you better believe I'm gonna get about 10 questions from students asking me why I made that move. And then I have to justify it. And if I can't justify it, then I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But here, nobody was watching me. And then my get rich quick script came out the closet. I had buried it for years and it came back. Well, this get rich quick script, right? Trying to double my account, it's paired up with another script I had as a kid. And that script is the script of not being good enough, right? I grew up poor, using the bathroom on a 5-gallon paint bucket. I had a mom who's mentally ill. Well, my grandma scrubbed floors for a living, according to my mom. What did grandma do? She scrubbed floors for rich white people, right? That was what she used to tell me, right? My dad I think he dropped out in the 8th grade. He couldn't spell or draw to save his life, right? And but anyway, and so we grew up poor, and my mom was mentally ill every day. Not sometimes, but every day. She'd scream at me. I wish you were dead. I wish I gave you up for adoption. She'd leave me in the house for weeks at a time. I'm huddled up in front of the kitchen stove for heat because there's no food or heat in the house. I think somebody called the cops on her. So then she eventually shipped me off to my grandma, which my uncle then didn't want me living there. He used to complain about me being there. So I grew up with this, nobody wants me, right? I'm not good enough. And so that comes out in different ways of you have to prove yourself, which is some of the ways that pushes me to be rich. Maybe if I'm rich, I'm good enough for the people who made fun of me when I was a kid, right? Made fun of the way I smelled, made fun of my clothes. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't part of their club, right? The reality is they will never accept me. I'm not part of their pedigree. But anyway, those are some of the scripts that drive my get rich quick script, right? It's paired up with that. And so I had to put systems in place to protect myself from those scripts. Watch 210 formula. Why I coach, right? It gives me accountability. And ever since I've been coaching, so for students and members, thank you so much. My performance has been the most consistent since I've been coaching. It's because you give me a layer of accountability. You help me protect myself from myself, if that makes sense, right? So those are some of the reasons why the account that no one sees, I still had a 31% last year in the U.S. Investing Championship, but I could have done a lot better. And I'm not blowing out accounts anymore because, again, my wife created that rule where now I only can lose $2,000. So, again, that was a system we put in place to protect Travis from doing something stupid in his test accounts. And that was a test account. So, yes, I lost all $30,000 except $500. but it was a test account, right? That was a play account, is where I used to test out different strategies and things like that. So losing it wasn't a big deal per se, but again, it's the opportunity cost of losing that money. So I hope that helps you out. You learn a little bit about some of the demons and things I struggle with, some of the scripts I have. That script was invisible for a while, but when you work with mentors and you study psychology and you learn more about yourself, so many things come to the surface as to why you do things the way you do. And then it's not like I go to a counselor and sit on a couch and talk about, oh, I don't feel good enough. No, just put systems in place that still allow you to succeed despite these flaws. All right, that's it. I'm way past my time here, but I'm going to leave you some bonus stocks here. I ran through a quick scan. Starbucks triggered for a new monthly. That's where I would do price point profits, hint, hint for Success Academy members, or price point profits paired up with a 3X growth strategy, right? Costco just triggered a new weekly. I probably wouldn't do price point profits here, but I would do the 3X growth strategy on Costco. I do own some Costco shares, full disclosure. We sell cover calls on it. We do that strategy. I don't know which one of those videos I talked about. Oh, the 5 rules of stock investing, how we accumulate shares risk-free where we don't really use any of our original risk capital. That's how we accumulate these Costco shares, as well as Apple. Team has a new monthly. I don't know anything about this stock. Oh, and I didn't do any of my other filters, like the, IBD filter or option chain filter, any of that. I'm just showing you some stocks that just came across my scan today. And lastly, Intuit has triggered a new monthly. So that's it. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.